Is the lighting for this really bad, you guys? Please let me know if it is. I honestly will not know until the post edit, but it is very, very late and I did not want to not film an intro for this video because I am starting it tomorrow and I honestly don't know if I'm gonna have time tomorrow to like do an intro because I have work obviously in the morning, and so I don't know that I'll have time. So in case I don't, I'm filming this one. But welcome to this video. This video is going to be basically me reading some new releases that I am very, very excited to read that have been on my TBR for a very long time, and now that they have been released, I'm going to get to them and let you know my thoughts and opinions on them. It was going to be a 5-star prediction video, but honestly, some of them I'm not in the mood for currently, but I am on a holds list at the library and they came to me and they have like hundreds of people waiting for them after me. And so I can't really be like, no, I'm not in the mood for this right now, and then give it back to them and then wait like probably half a year to get it again. So I'm just going to read them now, and it's not going to be a 5-star prediction. One of them for sure, probably. And then one of them is like, if not a 5-star, probably like a 4.5, so a very high prediction. Let's go see what this week looks like. Reading anything yesterday because, as you saw, me and my sister went to a baseball game because I'm trying new things this year, and so I thought I might as well go to a baseball game. So I went to a baseball game and it was definitely an interesting experience. I don't think that baseball is my favorite sport. I think in theory, because of Isaiah Rhodes, I love baseball. In practice, in real life, it's not my speed, but I had a good time regardless. It was really interesting. The like field that it was at was really, really pretty, and I've never been inside of it before, so it was a good experience, I guess. And then by the time we got home, it was really like late and I didn't want to read, and so I didn't read. But we are starting with our first book of this video, and actually I have read nothing but rave reviews about this book for some reason. Nobody has anything bad to say about it. It has like a ludicrous amount of stars on Goodreads. Everybody's giving it high ratings, and that is going to be Weaving Shaw. Can you see it? It's like a library copy, so it's covered in like a shiny thing, by Heba El-Wasiti, and it says the price to enter is your darkest secret, which is giving Caraval, I don't know. Let's read the jacket. I don't even know what this is about. All I know is that I saw Carrie Cakes talk about it, and so I knew that I want to read it. The end papers have skulls, which is giving... What is that one book? Phantasma? It's giving Phantasma. Gothic fantasy. Okay, cool. So 3 years ago, Lena Elsair woke up with a terrible power. She can see the dead. Since then, she has hidden herself from the world, knowing that if she ever reveals her curse, she will be locked away in an asylum. When her beloved brother, Rami, falls fatally ill, Lena is faced with a terrible choice: let him die or buy the expensive medicine that will save his life by bartering the only valuable thing she has, her secret. The Saint of Silence, a ruthless merchant who trades in confessions enshrouded in unearthly rumors of cruelty and power, accepts her bargain for a deadly price. Lena must find the ghost of Percival Avon, the last lord of the Weaving Shaw, or lose her freedom to the Saint forever. As Lena's search takes her and the Saint to Weaving Shaw, she finds the estate and the surrounding moors to be living things, hungry for blood and sacrifice, fighting against Weaving Shaw's might. Lena must also fight her growing pull toward the enigmatic Saint himself, whose connection to Percival Avon remains a mystery. As the house begins to entomb them, time is running out on their desperate hunt for answers, for Lena has come to see that here, in Weaving Shaw, the dead are not hushed, and some secrets are better left buried with them. I can already tell that this is going to be a definitely interesting book. It's giving, like I said, Phantasma. Something about it is like screaming Phantasma at me. I've heard nothing but great reviews about this one from like people that I absolutely adore, and so I feel like I'm really going to love it. Let's read the first sentence together, shall we? It says, "Tell me how to seek the saint." I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish this one because it's actually our busy season at work currently. So I'm probably going to be spending a lot of time actually working, doing my job. But in between tasks and whatever, I'll try to get a little bit into this book, and then I'll try to read a little bit more tonight. Maybe I'll pick up the audiobook if I can find it anywhere. I know it's probably like really popular currently because this is a really new release. Like, it got released in March, and as I'm filming this, it's April 1st. So I'll see you when I see you. It is still 7:30 in the morning currently, and we don't open until 8 o'clock, so I might read a little bit or I might journal a little bit, but whenever I pick up the book, you'll know, and then we'll go from there. Yes, it's the next day. I don't know what's wrong with me. For the life of me, I cannot get into this book. Like, I thought about like doing a whole different video because I just am not in the mood, I guess, for a fantasy or a horror gothic fantasy romantasy situation. Even though I started it actually, and I'm like a chapter in, I read one chapter, but then also like I've gotten really busy with work. Like I said, it's our busy time of the year currently, and I was not caffeinated yesterday, which is usually not a problem. I can still read if I'm not caffeinated, but this one is like getting into a fantasy book, like usually for me is a little bit hard to like understand what's going on, and this one is like kind of Arab inspired. Like, she calls her dad Baba, which is Arabic, or like Middle Eastern, I guess. It's just like, it was a little bit difficult. She did go to the saint to like tell him a secret, and she told him her secret, which is that she could see dead people, and I didn't read any more than that. And also some days I just like focus on other things versus reading. Like yesterday I am doing like a personal curriculum situation, and the textbook that I checked out from my library I've renewed 10 times, which is like every 3 weeks you renew once, you're allowed to renew, and I've had it since January, and it is now April currently as we're speaking, and so I am not allowed to renew it any more times. So yesterday I read like the last 3 chapters of the textbook and took notes on those, and so that took up a lot of my time. And also I was busy, and also some days I just feel like watching videos and like watching shows and watching a movie versus reading, and so I didn't do that. And also I ran out of audiobook hours, so usually if I'm reading a fantasy book and I can't get into it, I'll like listen to the audiobook of it and then I'll get into it. Like, I did that with The Poet Empress like in March, in the beginning of March. I was going to DNF it, and then because I was also fasting at the time, and so it was really hard because it's a really high fantasy, at least it was in my opinion, and so it was really hard for me to get into it. But I listened to the audiobook, and it actually ended up being like one of my favorite books of the month, if not of the year. Probably going to have the same experience with this one. I just need to get myself to read, like actually pick up the book and read. So I'm really going to try to make an effort to like stay off my iPad, stay off my phone, and like actually pick it up a couple of times today, at least once or twice, to see what's going on, what's popping off in there. I'm about to make my tea, which I'm going to mix these two. So this one is blueberry sage stress relief. This one is turmeric ginger peach, which I don't really like this brand. It just tastes like nothing. I really need to get into this today because it's a hefty book, and I'm hoping it doesn't take me as long to finish it. Like, I'm on page 16. I read 16 pages. I know I'm gonna like it. I just need to get into it. It's 2:50 and I'm going to start because I can't keep running from this. welcome back. It is the next day indeed, because I suck at filming. I don't know why I keep forgetting to pull my camera out. I actually read a lot of this yesterday. I really got far into it, further than what I was yesterday and the day before when I started it. I'm this far in. I'm on page 146 out of like 400 and something, I think. I really like the way that this is written. I think it leaves enough to keep you wanting to read. It has the mystery about the saint, and it has the mystery about Lena and why she can see dead people, and why Silas wants her to find this specific person, and a bunch of just like unanswered questions, which I think is really good to keep you reading and to keep you involved in the story. I really like the way that it's written. I really like the world that we're in, because it's just so interesting. It's been a minute since I read a fantasy novel that was set like this. Today is Friday, so I'm really hoping, if I really like lock in, I can finish this today. And I really want to finish this today, because the book that I'm reading tomorrow, or the book that I will hopefully be reading tomorrow, we're manifesting here guys, is going to be one of my most anticipated reads of the year, and I really want to take the weekend to read it. So I feel like it'll be easier for me to finish this book today, and then maybe start the next book tonight or tomorrow or whenever. I'm really excited to get into this book today, see where it goes from there, see what the ending is going to be like, because I've heard a lot of people talk about the ending and how it shocked a lot of people and that they can't believe that it ended the way that it did. So I think it's going to be a very interesting day of reading. I'm enjoying this book so much. I'm on 325. Why is it eating? And why do I love saying? I'm crying, please. I love it so much. It's 6:38. I came home, I ate my food. I read a lot of Weaving Shaw while I was at work today. So much so. You're gonna be so proud of me. Get this. Check this out. You ready? I'm on page 406. This is how much I have left. And this is how much I read today, which is crazy. From what I've heard a lot of people talk about this book, they all have the same problem that I had getting into it, which is that the beginning is very slow. If you like a little slow burn action, like I don't think we even had anything romantic happen between the two main leads of this story until like maybe page 200, 250. And the story like didn't really get going, didn't really start having like a lot of drama and a lot of action until like maybe page 150. Like it was very slow in the beginning. We basically get to meet Lena and know why she's taking out Saint Silas. and or the Saint of Silence, and why she needs his help, and what's wrong with her brother, and where she came from, and what her life is like, and a bunch of that stuff. And then we also meet the Saint of Silence, and we get to know him as a character, and then we get to know his world and why he needs her. It takes a lot of time for us to get into the action of the story, and like Silas and Lena working together to actually get to the main goal that he wants to get to, and then the romance actually starts. So I wouldn't say that this is a romantasy. I would say it's more heavily focused on like the fantasy aspect of the story, but then with like a subplot of romance, which I am eating up, don't get me wrong. I love a little slow burn. I hate instant connection, like instant love, instant lust. I hate that trope. So for me, this is really, really great, because once they finally started having a little bit of romance going on, you could tell that it was built over a very long period of time, and they didn't just fall in love randomly. I'm literally 40 pages away from the ending, and so I thought I might as well update you about it. I went with my coworkers to a cafe at work, and then like you saw, oh my god, let me just tell you, I got this cherry iced tea with vanilla and coconut syrup. When I tell you it was the best concoction I've ever had, I'm about to go back there like on Monday or Tuesday and have it again, because it was so delicious, so incredibly delicious. It felt like summer in a cup, and it just hit the spot. And then I also had a salad, which was really, really good as well. And then I did some more work. I read a little bit more, and then I came home, and then I have just been doing nothing, honestly, because like I said, I focused mostly on reading while I was at work and actually doing my work, and so I really did nothing else. Like I had no time where I was just doing nothing. I wanted to update you of where I'm at, and then I'm going to finish it, and then we'll do my rating, my thoughts, comments, and concerns, and then that'll be one book done. Trope I absolutely adore? Do you know what trope I absolutely live and die for? It's like when a character and the like love interest, like the guy or the girl has like a different name that the other person calls them for the entirety of the book, and because they refuse to call them by their actual name, and then something happens and it's like serious and death is like upon them, and they say the real name instead of the name that they've been calling them for the entire book. I eat it up every time. I eat it up every time. Like, why am I about to cry? I love them so much. I ran out of storage, so we're just gonna have to deal with this. But both of them are so well fleshed out as characters. Like, they have so much depth, and they have so much going on for them outside of each other, and I just love it. I eat it up every time. Like, she just called him by his actual name, and then in the book she's like, oh my god, I've been calling him that in my head this entire time. I wasn't calling him by the name that I've been calling him out loud. And it eats. And it eats every time, and it will continue to eat. Chapter. I'm so scared. Things are getting serious. I mean, things have been serious. I just love them so much, and I'm so scared for all of them. There's been some lines in here where I'm like, oh my god, you are an intelligent, like, gorgeous mind for coming up with some of these passages in here, because oh my god. Oh my god, no. No. No, please, no. No, this can't be happening. No. Listen, if there is not a happy ending in the end of this book, I'm gonna be so upset. I did not wait 400 pages for them to have their first kiss, for it to be stolen in the last 10 pages. Not even in the last 8 pages of the book. Please. I'm so stressed out. This can't be happening. Oh my god. There's 2 pages left of this book, and there's no ending in sight. Please, please, don't do this. I'm gonna stop right here because I can't. I want to stop right here. Like, there's a page and then another page, and that's all that's left. And as far as I know, this is a standalone. What do you mean? I'm very scared. I'm very scared. I'm very scared. What? What is that ending? I'm so pissed. What is that ending? That's not an ending. That's not an ending. I'm so sorry to tell it to you. That's not an ending. Is this actually seriously standalone? Like, does she seriously? No, this can't be. Do you see that it says number 1 right there? Like, Weaving Shaw number 1, right? But then you press on it, and then it just says Weaving Shaw. There is no number 1. Like, you can't, usually if it's a series, you know how the Goodreads app is, there would be something underneath here. I'm gonna Google it too, because I'm not Weaving Shaw. Wait, guys. In a planned trilogy, we win. Oh my god, I just read the first book of a trilogy that we don't even know when the second book is gonna come out, let alone the third. She seems like a very busy woman. How long am I gonna have to wait for this book? I'm so stressed out. Exceptional debut. I cannot believe this is a debut novel. Like, some people are just so brilliant that they can come up with a story like this. Like, just writing fantasy on its own is such a difficult task, and then you add a debut that's this stunning. Chef's kiss. Honestly, truly, like, I'm so gobsmacked. I'm so stunned that this is a debut novel, but leave it to an Iraqi woman to do it. She had to do it to him. We just be doing it the way we need to do it, and she did what she needed to do. I'm giving it 5 stars. I can't give it anything less. Yes, it had like slow moments in the book where I was like, girl, can we please get going? And by that I mean the first 150 pages were very, very slow. If you do not like a slow burn, this book is not for you. If you're not with it, you're not with it. I don't know what to tell you, but I love me a slow burn, and they don't kiss until page 400. So like, if that seems like something you can't manage, don't read this. But I personally, me, I loved it. I loved it so much. Once you get into it, you really get into it. I think the world building is really, really great. Yes, it's slow. Yes, it's a little bit confusing in the beginning, but once you really get into it, it's such a beautiful story full of depth, full of characters that have a life that feels real. Like, it doesn't feel like they were meant to meet and then that's it. Like, she had a life before him and he had a life before her, and then together they're even better together, which I absolutely adore. The familial aspect of this book, like Lena and her brother, I love them so much. Like, genuinely, it's such a heartfelt story, and if you have siblings, then you would understand why Lena does half of the things that she does, because it's so sister-coded. Also, the immigrant part of it, because Lena is an immigrant, and like, this world where she doesn't feel like she belongs, and you know me, I'm an immigrant myself, like, and the author is an immigrant herself as well. So I feel like she wrote it from like personal experience, and obviously if you're an immigrant yourself, you can relate to it, and I feel like it's something so important to read considering everything that's going on in the world currently and the state of the world that we live in. I think it's so important to read stories that represent that minority, that represents people who don't feel seen in either part of where they come from and where they go, and how much that changes you and changes your thought process. And I just think it's so fascinating, and I think she did it really incredibly well. 5 stars all across the board. Like, genuinely might be one of my favorite books of the year. Let's talk about the book that I'm reading next, which I could not believe it's here. It's, like I've said, like I've hyped it up 1,000,001 times. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. When this author is releasing a book, it's immediately on my want to read list. I can't believe she's here. I can't believe she's here. I cannot believe this girl is here right now. So, The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. Now, first of all, named after a beautiful song. Okay, like one of my favorite songs of all time. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've cried to that song. This is the second book in like a standalone interconnected world, where the first one was this one that was released last year, and that one was not my favorite Abby Jimenez work because I just had a couple of problems, like a miniature amount of problems with it, but I really did enjoy it, and I actually have found myself thinking about it a lot over the last year between that release and this release. I don't know who this is about, honestly, but I'm not even mad about it because I just love Abby Jimenez. Like, Abby Jimenez is pretty much up there for romance authors for me. Like, first and foremost, we cannot forget Emily Henry. That's queen. She's number one. And then I'm pretty sure it's going to be Abby Jimenez, maybe Allie Hazelwood. Like, she's top 5. She's top dog. She's up there. She's, like I said, if I know she's releasing a book, it's going on my TBR immediately. I'm so scared that I'm gonna finish this and not have anything to read for another year about Abby Jimenez. But I was also thinking of rereading Just for the Summer and Yours Truly might be my favorite, I think. I'm so excited to read it, and I'm also so scared at the same time because I know when it's Abby Jimenez, her men send me into a spiral of being like, no man is ever going to be like this in real life, and then I become really depressed for like a week or two, and then I bounce back, and then everything is fine and normal, and I read an Emily Henry or something, and then I go back into the depression era. But I'm very excited for this book. This is like one of my top 5, I think, most anticipated releases of the year, and it's coming very early in the year, so I'm very scared. I don't know that it's going to be Weaving Shaw in terms of being my favorite book of the month or my favorite book of the year, because Weaving Shaw is so different from this one, and like, if it was going to be fair, then I would have done a fantasy versus a fantasy and a romance versus a romance, but regardless, I know I'm going to love this one, even if I don't give it a 5-star. This morning is already off to like such a weird start. I don't know what's going on. I woke up this morning. My phone wasn't fully charged, which is, I'm doing some work currently, which is so strange because it usually charges all the way through, and for some reason it got stuck at like 70, so I'm guessing my charger maybe acted up, or maybe like, because I sleep pretty close to it, maybe like I moved it in my sleep or something, and then it didn't charge, and so my phone wasn't fully charged, which is already like horrendous. My cat woke me up like 15 times throughout the night for some reason, and I thought she wanted out the room, but she didn't. She just wanted to cuddle like multiple times throughout the night, which I was like, what is happening here? And then I had to go get gas. $45. I know, everybody's talking about the gas prices. And my drive here was weird. Like, we were going the speed limit, and then we passed by a cop, and the person in front of me, who had no one in front of them, went 50, which is under the speed limit, and we're on the freeway. So like, I'm wondering what is happening today. I left extremely late, which I hate when that happens. And then I got here and like a truck honked at me for no freaking reason. I not even a truck. It was like one of those like supplier trucks, you know, the like Coke, Pepsi type trucks, which I was like, okay, 6:40, I don't know why you're honking at me for this early in the morning, but go off, I guess. And the sun came up at like 6:40. Last time I left my house, which was Friday, I want to say, the sun wasn't rising until like, I don't know, like 7:20. So why the hell is the sun up at 6:40 this morning? So I'm all out of sorts. Also, it's April, and I needed my puffer today because we have a freeze morning. It's like, it feels like 12 degrees outside. What are we doing? What is happening? I will see you when I start reading or whenever I feel like filming. It's just such a strange day, you know? Literally me with this guy. Why do I like him so much already? He's so cute. Is 7:07. Today, I actually read a lot more than I imagined myself reading, and also a lot less than I imagined myself reading. But I started with The Night We Met, and I'm on page... I don't even know how many pages this has. Do you know that? I also don't know what this book is about either. So like, this is... I'm on page 97 out of... I assume 300 something. 384 pages, and that means we have like 300 more pages-ish to go, really. And let me tell you, these 97 pages were so quick. I don't know what it is about Abby Jimenez specifically, but my god, her books just fly by. I actually put it off in the morning, and I didn't pick it up because I didn't want to finish it, and I didn't want to start it at all because I knew once I start, I'm gonna spiral. Something about Abby Jimenez and her men, if you've ever read an Abby Jimenez book, you know her men are unmatched. Her and Emily Henry, I feel like, are in competition of who the best writer is of fictional men. Also, Tahira Mafi wins. Like, her and Emily Henry are tied for the #1 spot. Abby Jimenez is a close second for me. The way that Abby Jimenez writes her men, they're so thoughtful and so just kind, and like the bare minimum, but like not really. Like, they do so much. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Just for the Summer. He like made her surveys after every date to like, did you have fun today? Did you enjoy yourself? Did you like, what would you recommend that I do better next time? And like, that's so cute. And then with this one, he's just so thoughtful from the very beginning. Like, the way that they meet, basically it follows this girl and this guy. His name is Chris, and the girl's name is Larissa. Larissa is like poor, broke, and she needs help with her mother. And Chris basically gets a call from his best friend who's dating Larissa, and he's like, hey, I'm hungover. Can you please go get Larissa, take her to the hospital because her mother is having surgery? And Larissa and Chris had met at a concert like a couple of years ago, or a year ago, or whatever, however long ago. She thought he was like this grumpy guy, but he was going through something at the time. And so now when they re-meet, she's like, wait a minute, he's not grumpy. And I live for that trope. I'm just, So basically he's helping her, and now like a lot of stuff is happening. And if also, please, the trigger warnings, the list, I never typically read trigger warnings. I've said that before in my videos, and I'll say it again. I know it's unsafe to go into something because you might be triggered. For me, I think the trigger is a part of the story, so I never really typically read. If there is a trigger warning list, I'm not reading it. I'm just gonna go into the book raw. For some reason, I decided to read this one's. The things that are in there, I knew Abby Jimenez. If you've read Abby Jimenez, you know she goes into like stories where she's talking about really heavy topics. Like, she's not grazing over them. They're actually a part of the story, and for that reason her stories feel very deep and very impactful, even though they're like a contemporary romance basically. But girl, I was not prepared for what I was reading. I was like, damn, I don't know what's going on in here, but this seems a lot more complicated than an Abby Jimenez book should sound like. I'm kind of nervous because the best friend is like showing these signs, and I'm smiling because I'm uncomfortable. He's showing these signs where it's like, oh, there's definitely going on over there, and even Chris is starting to notice. And also, I don't know how I feel about the trope because she's dating his best friend. How are they gonna get together? How are they gonna get together? That's what I'm nervous about. I'm actually kind of really anxious about that because I just don't know how I feel about that trope, like dating the best friend of the guy that you were dating, even though they're not really serious. But he's also not a great boyfriend. Like, from the very beginning, he lies to Larissa, saying that he had a migraine, when he really didn't have a migraine. He was just hungover. And he does it again a second time, where I stopped. So I'm like, oh, something is definitely going on there. So read the trigger warnings at your own will, I guess. Use your free will. If you want to read them, do. If you don't want to read them, don't. But if you are easily triggered by such topics, then I definitely recommend reading them. I want to get to at least page 120-ish. I know for sure if I let myself, I'll be able to finish this book tomorrow. Do I want to do that? No. I do not want to finish this book in 2 days, but if it feels like something I would do, because it just reads so quickly. It's kind of dangerous because I genuinely lost track of time. I was reading, I looked down at my book, I blinked, I looked up, and half an hour had passed, and I was like, wait, is this actually real? Like, did half an hour actually pass today? It's really nice outside, so I think I might sit outside and read for a bit. I kind of don't want to smell bad. That's why I'm wearing this, because we have a pond outside our house, or like in the backyard, and it usually like makes me smell like outside, and I really hate that. And I already showered, so this is to protect me from smelling like outside. But I think I am gonna go sit out there for a bit, enjoy the weather, the nice weather, because tomorrow it's gonna be like 20 degrees in the morning, and then it's 60 degrees in the afternoon. I don't even know how to dress. Actually a lot chillier out here than I thought. I might be out here for like 5 minutes just to enjoy. I think the sun is setting, and also these trees are my favorite thing in the world. We have so many of them, we're so lucky. But the sun is setting, I think. So I'm gonna enjoy it for a bit, but I don't think I'm gonna sit out here for long. I even have a Waterloo, my book, and my blanket, and then this view. We are too close for comfort. Good morning. It is the next day. It is 7:26 in the morning, and I just got to work. My phone didn't charge all the way through again. I don't know what's happening. I bought another charger yesterday. It should be arriving today, so hopefully this is the last day that I have a problem with my charging situation. But I did read a little bit more of this last night after I spoke to you guys, and I read until page 123, which is not 120, not 125, but either way is great. I'm really happy that I got some reading in. I didn't end up sitting outside because it was incredibly cold, and I think I got too excited because I was like wearing a jacket when I got home, and also when I was running, so I wasn't really feeling the cold air. Like I was kind of warm because I was running, and so I didn't realize how cold it was until I went outside and I was like, wait, this is not what I want to do. So I went back inside and I read for like maybe 20-30 minutes. Not even, I don't think it was 30 minutes. I think it must have been like 15 to 20 minutes because I also wanted to eat and I just wanted to sit on my phone for a bit, and I knew that I need to pace myself with this book because I know for sure that I'm gonna be able to finish it today. Unfortunately, I really don't want to finish it today because I think I just love Abby Jimenez so much, and I love her writing so much, and so like going a year without one is so difficult. I'm like 30% in. Ooh, it's too close to the ending. Listen, also I wish I could say that Mike, which is Larissa's boyfriend and Chris's best friend, I wish I could say that he's a bad guy, but he's genuinely not a bad guy, which makes this so much worse. Like, I think this is, like I said, I think I said it yesterday, this is like one of the like most complicated tropes to read about because it's like he's her boyfriend, and the guy that she's kind of crushing on is her boyfriend's best friend, and the best friend is kind of a really good person. Well, not really a good person. He's kind of an okay person. He's flawed, but he's like genuinely not a bad person. He's not trying to be a bad boyfriend. He's not trying to be a bad person. He's just going through it. And also he's anxious, and he thinks that everybody talks about him when he leaves, and like he has anxiety, and so he drinks to deal with that, which is not a solution. You should not be doing that. That's not an excuse. But so like I wish if he was a bad boyfriend, I'd be like, cool, leave him and go for his best friend. Why not, you know? Instead I'm like, oh, are they gonna end up together? Because you can't really be like his best friend and then go for his girlfriend. I don't know, it's just so, it feels a little bit icky, unfortunately. I don't know how I feel about this trope. There's a couple of books that I've read where I was like, oh, I don't know about this one, I don't know about this trope, I don't know about these people, I don't know how you're gonna make it work. This one is one of them where I'm like, I don't know how you're gonna make it work. Mike has to do something really, really bad because he really, really likes Larissa. Like, he likes her so much that he thinks he's not good enough for her. They've both been really respectful. Like, neither of them has done anything to the point of where it's like, it's kind of like unsavory, I guess. Both of them have been really respectful of the relationship that Larissa is in. Like, Chris hasn't done anything, and every time he even thinks about doing something, he's immediately removing himself from the situation. Larissa as well, she's very much like not even thinking about it. And so like both of them have been very respectful. There has to be something that's so bad that justifies Larissa and Chris getting together. 2 on chapter 41, and I just needed to read this thing for you because I had to stop and take a break. I genuinely could not keep going because it felt like my heart was gonna like drop out of my chest. So basically, Larissa is the main girl in this book, and she has a like severe peanut allergy. And for this entirety of this book, we watch Chris basically just fall in love with her, and like all he wants to do is protect her. That's his thing. He wants to protect her. He wants to make sure that she's taken care of. He wants to make sure that she has everything that she needs. And at some point something happens and she gets endangered, and he tells her, listen to this, if I had a nut allergy, I'd taste your food to make sure it's safe, and if it wasn't and I died, I'd die happy because I died protecting you. Do you understand? I had to put the book down. I did. I had to put the book down and go do a lap because he is so damn horrendous. I actually think they're making it work because Mike dropped the ball severely multiple times to the point where it's like, I feel like he really forfeits the right to Larissa, and Chris can't take it at this point because he's just messed up in every way that you could possibly mess up. And it's like, dude, do better. I'm gonna finish it, and I'm gonna try not to cry because I really almost cried about that peanut line because he just a man who takes care of you is a man who loves you. I have stress snacks that match my scarf, but I'm stress snacking. That's how bad this is. It's a theme this week with the books that I've been reading, that the two main love characters, or like the two main characters, don't like have anything romantic going on until the very end of the book, because we're on page 308, which is like 80 pages away from the end, like and they have not kissed, not once, like not once. Everybody calm down. We got our first kiss and it's 30 pages away from the end. We're on page 356, chapter 49. And she just quoted his favorite quote back to him because they both read books. And he broke and he kissed her. I also have something to say because I feel like with Abby Jimenez, a lot of her books, they tend to have the same theme of the man like rescuing the woman. Xavier did it with Samantha in the book that came before this one, and now Chris is doing it to Larissa. Ready to just like leave their entire life and like save the woman. And that was kind of my problem with Say You'll Remember Me, is that Xavier basically gave up everything to like be with Samantha because Samantha's family life had a lot of stuff going on, and I feel like Chris is doing it the same with this one. But the difference is that in Say You'll Remember Me, it felt like Samantha didn't really like Xavier as much as he liked her, or didn't love him as much as he loved her. With this one, I feel like Larissa actually loves Chris as much as he loves her. I feel like it's reciprocated. It feels equal. So I'm okay with it. I don't know. I'm having a lot of mixed feelings about this book for some reason. I don't know. I have to think about it, but I'll get back to you. But we got our first kiss. So I finished, my cat is eating, so if you hear some crunching noises, she's the culprit. I finished With the Night We Met by Abby Jimenez, and I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of conflicting thoughts, so let's start with the rating that I gave it. I gave it 4.25 stars because honestly, hear me out. I gave Say You'll Remember Me last year 4 stars, so this is a jump up higher from that, and I'm hoping that the third book is going to be a 5 stars for me, although we will talk about that as well. So let's stay on track here. We must stay focused here. What I really liked about this book is obviously any Abby Jimenez man, he is the man. He knows what to do. He knows how to do it. He knows how to get shit done. He is thoughtful and he is acts of service king. And when he falls hard. Like these men, genuinely, I want to say all of the Abby Jimenez men are the men that fall the hardest, even harder than Emily Henry, dare I say. Really loved how he took care of Larissa. I really loved how he was just so genuine and so thoughtful. And I really liked the slow burn of their friendship. It felt really, really like realistic for them to like fall in love with each other over the course of a year versus instantly falling in love, which I also said I think about Weaving Shaw. I hate when it's instant love. I hate when it's instant attraction. I just need the slow burn. Give me the slow burn. And this happened to be next to Weaving Shaw when it comes to slow burn. Like I said, we only got our first kiss in the last like 30 pages of the book. I also liked Larissa as a character, and I also liked Chris as a character, and I also loved seeing Xavier in here, even though we only got very little glimpses of him and Samantha. But I loved him so much last year, and so it was really nice to read about him in here. What I really disliked about this book, first of all, the trope that Abby Jimenez does of the man saving and rescuing the woman, like it felt like it happened all over again in this book, which I really didn't like it. Say You'll Remember Me as well, because it felt like Xavier dropped everything in his life to go save Samantha, and Samantha was like, oh cool, thanks, even though he did so much for her. And it felt like she wasn't reciprocating to the level that he was giving to her, and so it felt really disingenuine. And then, or ingenuine, I don't know the actual how to use that word, but you know what I mean. And then with this one, like I said, I did feel that Larissa felt a lot for Chris, but I'm like, why must he save her though? And then here's the thing, is that in this book, Larissa is basically like, she hates handouts. She won't take them from anybody, especially not from Mike, especially not from Chris. And then it feels like she leans in that direction and she ends up getting the handouts. So it's not really that she saved herself, but he saved her instead. So it was like, really, like, this is the same trope all over again. And I really don't like reading about that trope, so it feels very annoying when it does happen. And then also, it felt very choppy. Like, I think I noticed this with also Say You'll Remember Me. It just felt like the timeline, like, scenes were happening just so they can happen. Sometimes they didn't feel very, like, organic to the plot or what was happening or the timeline. And it felt like she wrote these, like, separate scenes of separate characters, or like separate scenes of the main love interest being with the like other love interest, and then she just put them randomly in the middle of the story because she felt like she wanted to have that scene somewhere in the story, but it didn't feel like it flowed with the story. So it felt like it was like choppy. The time jumps were choppy, which I think I do remember saying something about Say You'll Remember Me, is that I felt like it was choppy. We would have like these like, and then it was 3 months later, and then it was 2 months later, and then it was however long, and it felt like it happened in this book as well, which I don't think I recognized in like Yours Truly or Just for the Summer, but I do remember saying something about it, about Say You'll Remember Me, and I'm saying it about this one as well. It felt like we just kept doing choppy time jumps, which I was like, why do we need to do that? And then it felt like we were doing the time jumps so we can justify the scenes between the two characters when they felt so out of line with the rest of the story, and like so out of, I guess, like I said, like out of line. It didn't belong in the story, and it felt like it was just thrown in there. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me. I feel like I might be going crazy. This is not to say that I didn't enjoy it, because obviously I gave it 4.25 stars, which means I enjoyed it more than Say You'll Remember Me. But the 2.5 or the 0.25 stars only came because I felt like Larissa also had the same amount of feelings for Chris, where I didn't feel that same way about Say You'll Remember Me. So I don't know. It felt very, very weird, because this was like one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and it kind of like didn't meet as many expectations as I set for it, but it also was really, really fun to read, and it was really quick to read. Like, I read all of it in 2 sittings, which is crazy. The third book that's coming out in this series is apparently Mike's story, which is like, why would you write a story for Mike? Like, I know everybody is like, you know, like, he's not his mistakes, right? He's a person, he made mistakes, but the mistakes that he made were really horrendous, especially to Larissa and Chris and everybody that he was around. He was like really a genuine douchebag, like type 1A douchebag. If you look up douchebag in the dictionary, his picture is in there. Like, he was genuinely not a good person. He even like threatened Larissa's life at some point in the story. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about reading a story about like basically his redemption arc. That's really going to be strange for me. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, but it did occur to me that maybe this series is not for me, because I enjoyed her other series so much more. Part of Your World was a miss for me, but then Just for the Summer and Yours Truly are some of my favorite books, I think, ever. So I don't really know. Let me know your thoughts down below if you read this book and how you feel about it, because I feel like it was low-key a miss, but low-key not at the same time. And my camera's flashing, so I'm gonna have to do the outro now. And it's basically telling me to wrap it up. Like, you know when you're in an award show and it's telling you wrap it up. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you read either of those books, and let me know what your thoughts and opinions, comments, concerns, questions about them were. Let me know if you agree with my thoughts, especially about this one, because I really would love to know if somebody else shares these thoughts with me, because I don't want to feel crazy. And yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a very great day whenever you're watching this, or night, and I will see you in the next video whenever I see you. Bye!